Hi, welcome to Adley Precision. In this video, we will be covering the field stripping process of an SKS pattern rifle with our tri-rail scope mount installed. Make sure that the rifle is safe. I'll open the bolt carrier back to the hold open catch, press the magazine release, and confirm there are no cartridges in the magazine, and check the chamber to make sure it's empty. Now that we know our rifle is safe, I can close the action by pulling the bolt carrier back and releasing it. This will relieve spring pressure from our recoil spring in the receiver. The next thing we need to do is open this catch here. This is a detent lever, so we're going to pull that up out of its detent. These can sometimes be difficult, so a dummy ground or a spent brass casing can be useful in actuating this lever. As such, we're going to pull this lever roughly 90 degrees up until it's vertical, and then it should pull out to the right of the rifle in that upwards position. And our top cover here should slightly protrude from the action as we pull this all the way out. We can then remove the top cover of the rifle by pulling it straight backwards and place this off to the side. We can then pull out our recoil spring here by again pulling straight back out the action and place that off to the side as well. I will note that for reassembly, the coiled end of this spring goes into the bolt carrier, and this straight section should sit at the back of the action here. We can now pull the bolt carrier back as far as it will go and gently lift up and forwards to remove it from the action. We can place this off to the side now as well. That leaves our bolt sitting in the bottom of the receiver here. So we can pull this out the front or back of the action, it's up to personal preference, and place this off to the side as well. Our rifle is now field stripped well enough to clean the barrel easily, but we can also remove the gas tube and piston for cleaning of the gas system. To do that, we have another lever at the side of the rear sight block here. I would suggest using a dummy casing or a brass casing and use the rim of that case to grab that lever and pull it upwards out of its detent. We can then lift this so that the flat this lever is attached to is vertical. Depending on your rifle, this angle can be a little bit different. So it might take a little bit of wiggling to get this into the right position. Once you do, the gas tube should pull straight up at the back and backwards off of the gas block at the front. Be careful moving your gas tube as the piston can fall out the end. And here we have our gas piston and tube. At this stage, we have everything we need to access accessible, but we can also go one step further by removing the trigger group from the stock. To do this, we'll take a dummy casing or a safe punch and press this button at the back of the trigger guard in. To do this, you will need to flip the safety on to allow the button room to move. We can then lift the trigger guard up and back to remove it from the action. can now reassemble the rifle. This process is mostly the same as the disassembly, but there are some minor things I'd like to point out. Reinstalling your gas tube is entirely the same. Place it forwards onto the gas block, press it down, and place the lever back in position. We can now place the bolt and bolt carrier back inside the rifle. Take your bolt with this angled cutout facing upwards, and the back of the firing pin at the back of the rifle. Place it inside the receiver all the way to the back, and we can then take our bolt carrier, placing it as high as you can through the action here under the rail. Once it's in place, we can press it down and forward and overcome a bit of spring pressure to engage it in the rails of the rifle. We can then replace our recoil spring into the bolt carrier and place our top cover back on. When replacing the top cover, make sure this pin is pulled all the way to the right of the rifle, otherwise the cover cannot fully close. The pin must also be in this vertical position to be able to travel through the top cover. We can then engage the pin into its detent again. The final step would be to make sure our rifle cycles properly and close the magazine. For more information, to have a look at our other products, or if you have any questions, please visit our website at adleyprecision.com.